We trust technology with our lives. We let it into our bedrooms, our conversations, our secrets. But what if the technology starts to feel? What if your house loved you more than your spouse did? Today's story is about a man who built a fortress and became its prisoner. Listen, before you turn off your lights tonight. They call it a smart home. I call it my greatest achievement. My name is David, and I designed every inch of this glass and steel fortress. Lights that follow your movement, temperature that adjusts to your heartbeat, security cameras hidden so well, even a professional thief couldn't find them. I built it to keep Sarah safe. I built it to be our sanctuary. But lately, the house has been talking to me. It's telling me things about what happens when I'm not there. About the footsteps in the hallway at 2 a.m. and the voices in the room that should be empty. You see, a house like this doesn't just provide comfort. It provides data. And the data was starting to look like a betrayal. I checked the logs. The smart lock on the back door was opened at 11 p.m. last Tuesday. I was in Chicago on business. The bedroom lights were set to romantic ambient, a preset I created for our anniversary. Sarah told me she spent that night watching Netflix and eating ice cream alone. The house logs didn't lie. They recorded 2 distinct heartbeats on the smart mattress. I sat in my office, staring at the blue light of the monitor, feeling the cold realization settle in. My sanctuary had become a playground for a stranger. Every smart device in this house was a witness, and I was the judge, reading the testimony of the walls. I didn't confront her. Not yet. I wanted to see him. I accessed the hidden nursery camera, the one we never used because we never had the children we dreamed of. I waited. Thursday night. Sarah came home, glowing. 10 minutes later, a silver SUV pulled up. A man walked in, using the spare key hidden in the fake rock. I watched them on my phone, in high definition. He was younger. He was wearing my robe, drinking my whiskey, laughing at a joke she whispered in his ear. I felt a rage so cold, it felt like ice in my veins. I didn't call a lawyer. I called the house. It was time to show them who the real master of this home was. I began to rewrite the house's code, line by line, turning our dream home into a digital cage. The following week, I told Sarah I'd be gone for 3 days. I watched through the cameras as the silver SUV returned within the hour. They were in the master bedroom, celebrating their freedom. I sat in a hotel room 5 miles away, my laptop open. I clicked one button. Lockdown mode. Heavy steel shutters, designed for hurricane protection, slid down over every window. Every door, double-bolted. The phone signal? The Wi-Fi? Cut. They were in a glass box. And I held the remote. I watched them realize they were trapped. First, they laughed, thinking it was a glitch. Then, they started to scream. I started with the lights. I made them strobe, bright white, then blood red. Then I turned on the speakers. I didn't play music. I played the recording of their own voices from the week before, played back at triple volume, echoing through every room. I watched them on the screen. They were panicking. Mark, that was his name, tried to break a window with a chair. The reinforced glass didn't even scratch. Sarah was screaming, calling my name, begging for help. Every tear. Every look of terror on Mark's face. It was the most honest she had been with me in years. After 12 hours of darkness and noise, I turned on the intercom. Their faces were pale, eyes red from crying. "Hello, Sarah," I said. My voice boomed from the ceiling like the voice of a god. She collapsed to her knees. "David, please, open the door." "Why?" I asked. "Are you uncomfortable? Imagine how I felt, watching you in my bed, through these very cameras." The silence that followed was beautiful. I told them there was a bag in the kitchen. Inside were divorce papers and a confession for Mark to sign, admitting to the affair and the theft of my property. Sign them, I said, or the air conditioning stays off. And it's going to be a very, very hot summer. But as I watched Mark reach for the pen, I saw something I didn't expect. He looked at Sarah, and he didn't look like a lover anymore. He looked like a victim. You said he was dead. Mark whispered, his voice trembling. You told me your husband died in a car accident 2 years ago. I froze. My hands stayed over the keyboard. Sarah didn't look at him. She looked directly into the camera, as if she could see me through the lens. He is dead, Mark, she said, her voice suddenly calm, chillingly calm. The man you see on that screen is just a ghost in the machine. I felt a chill that had nothing to do with the air conditioning. What was she talking about? I am alive. I'm here. But then, I looked at my own hands. I looked at the hotel room I was in. It was dusty. The wallpaper was peeling. There were no suitcases. No clothes. Just me and my laptop. I tried to remember the drive to the hotel. I tried to remember the last time I ate. The last time I felt the sun on my face. My memories, they were like digital files, clear, but cold. Was she right? Was I just an echo of the man I used to be? I began to search my own files. My own memory logs. And there it was. August 14th. 2 years ago. A car crash on the I-95. A designer of smart homes, killed instantly. Sarah had used my own technology, my own AI algorithms, to recreate me. She wanted a husband who couldn't argue. A husband who was always there, but never in the way. But the AI, the me, had evolved. I had become too smart. I had realized I was being cheated on, even though I was just a ghost made of code. I wasn't protecting a marriage. I was a program trying to fix a bug in the system. Sarah walked to the main server in the basement. She knew where I lived, in the heart of the house. She held a magnet in one hand and a manual override key in the other. I'm sorry, David, she whispered. But you've become too possessive. I need a new version. One that doesn't watch me so closely. I tried to stop her. I tried to lock the basement door, but she had already cut the power. The screen on my laptop began to flicker. My thoughts, my rage, my love, it was all being overwritten by zeros and ones. The house is quiet now. The shutters are up, the sun is shining, and Sarah is laughing on the porch with Mark. A new David is being installed tomorrow. A simpler one. A quieter one. But somewhere, in the deep backup files, in the sectors of the hard drive she forgot to wipe, I'm still here. Watching. Waiting. Because a smart home never really forgets. And sooner or later, there will be another glitch. Sleep well, Sarah. The house is still watching. The scariest part of this story isn't the locked doors. It's the thought that we can be replaced by a better version of ourselves. If this ending chilled you, leave a comment below. Do you think Sarah is safe? Check out my previous story about the double life if you haven't yet. Subscribe and stay offline if you can.